Wonderful. Exciting to have you here. And I would say let's get going. Let's get started. Can you all see my slides, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So I'll make this full screen so you can see the full slides and we get started. So first of all, some housekeeping. So this webinar is currently also being streamed live on LinkedIn. So I hope you're not too scared about this. We're also recording, as you have noticed, and it may be shared and published online. I hope this is okay with you. If you're not okay with that, please send me a message, leave it in the chat, or send me an email about it, and I will make sure that this is not published. The duration is 30 minutes together, and that shall include some time for Q&A at the end together. This should not be just a presentation and a monologue. I would like to hear your comments, your questions, and answer anything that you want to know. During the presentation, please keep your microphones muted, please. But if you have some questions, I can see already some stuff in the chat, so leave a question in the chat. We can come back to it at the end, or remember the question and we'll tackle that at the end. So what will we cover today? We will answer 5 questions. What is professional coaching? We will also look at what are some other forms of coaching. Why are there so many fake coaches out there, or scams potentially? What and where is the real deal? And I want to show you the 6 steps to choose the right coach for you. And at the end, obviously, Q&A. So let's get started, and let's start first by introducing myself. Of course, I'm Alessandro De Giacomo, as some may know. I'm the founder of Lobster Coaching, and it's my 6th year of solo entrepreneurship. I'm also a polyglot, so I coach internationally in English, French, German, and Italian. And I have a team of 5 coaches overall, which we call nicely the Lobster Pod. So we are a pod of coaches. Personally, I have an EIA Senior Practitioner Coach level with over 1,000 hours of coaching internationally. My focus is on entrepreneurship, on mental health, on leadership development, and on change. And besides that, personally, I'm passionate about the ocean. As I mentioned at the beginning, I live in Portugal. I love kite surfing. I'm passionate about tennis, playing and watching. And I also love photography. Enough about me, though. Let's get started with the most important subject. So, what is professional coaching? Let's start by saying what is not coaching. So coaching is definitely not therapy. And although most coaches should have some foundations and basics of psychology when they do their training, we should not go into therapy. Sometimes you have therapists that become coaches, of course, and then that's a different matter. That's for them to be skillful in understanding how to separate the two things and how to provide a different service depending on their client. It's also not mentoring. So mentoring is applicable to subject matter experts usually, and they can advise and give tips to more junior roles and people based on their expertise, as I said, and experience. Coaching is also not training someone. So it's not a course that you take when you engage with coaching. And coaching is definitely not teaching. A coach does not teach a subject to somebody. So, in simple and generic terms, coaching is a development approach where a client is supported by a coach to achieve his or her desired goals. Through active listening, insightful questioning, and challenging feedback, a coach skillfully helps a person to go from place A to a place B much faster than they would do just by themselves. And for this, you will see here on the top right, we have 3 logos. These 3 logos are the European Mentoring and Coaching Council, the International Coaching Federation, and the Association for Coaching. These are the three biggest international coaching bodies and organizations that have created core competencies and standards for coaching. And we will see more about these later on in this presentation. The EMCC was founded in the UK in 1992, so that's 32 years ago, by David Clutterberg and other colleagues. So also Eric Parslow, also Sir John Whitmore, Julie Hay. These are all experts in coaching that have been doing coaching even 20 years before even founding the EMCC, for example. So they have in-depth knowledge, and today we have a lot of literature in coaching thanks to these contributors. The ICF was founded in the US in 1995 by Thomas Leonard, and the Association for Coaching was established in 2002. So after clarifying what professional coaching is, what is the other form of coaching? Some other coaches out there. So there are a lot of forms of coaching that you can see out there. It's often made up coaching. You might bump into things that I've seen, like you can see here these examples. So spiritual coach, an energy coach, a seasonal coach, a mindfulness coach, a breathwork coach, a relationship coach, and much more. Now, we will see this a bit more clearly later in some other slides, but these are coaches that are called like this mostly for marketing reasons, to give themselves a niche to focus on. So when you see these kind of coaches, I invite you to investigate their training and their preparation for this. For example, there's nothing wrong to engage with a mindfulness coach, although it might be more appropriate to call them practitioners. Same with breathwork, a breathwork practitioner. A relationship coach, I would rather call that couples therapy, perhaps. So you see that you're starting to see that coaching and coach is also a wording that is used a lot to market themselves in a better way. So beware of these kind of titles that you see sometimes. Some BS, as I call it, is also based on experience and expertise only. So sometimes very experienced professionals with a certain expertise, they become coaches just by entitlement, because they feel that they want to give back their experience, which is a very noble thing to do. However, they have never attended a proper training for that. And so they deliver something from a completely different foundation and basis. It's also promising transformation outcomes or transformational outcomes in days or weeks, when actually it takes months, sometimes a year or even more to have a transformation. So watch out over promising coaches. Sometimes there are coaches that are certified, yes, but that are not accredited. And we'll come later on clarifying what accredited coaches are and what it means. Then obviously the question is as well, what about AI in coaching? And AI is increasing a lot in coaching. And AI is an amazing support for professional coaches, potentially as a tool. Of course, you can be coached by AI. And it's a very linear kind of coaching, a very simplistic way to help you to achieve certain goals, to get into action with something, to understand the certain steps you can take. But it is limited by not having a human-to-human interaction with more curiosity and with more intuition and with more intent as well. So that's a subject that can be even treated in a separate webinar. So let's move on. Why are there so many fake coaches? Well, it's a booming industry. It's estimated that coaching will generate about 7.21 billion just in 2025, reported by the ICF. It's also a non-regulated market with an estimated over 100,000 coaches globally. There are also a lot of self-proclaimed coaches and gurus out there, and those ones are likely twice as many as certified and accredited coaches. Coaching is often a misused wording. So often clients expect a training, they expect consulting, they expect mentoring and tips and advice, but that's not what coaching is about. And sometimes coaching is just a wording that is sexy. And as you could see in the previous examples, it's used very strongly in marketing. But as you can see from this non-regulated market point, there are recognized coaching standards, and these have been established by the EMCC, the ICF, and the Association for Coaching based on shared core competencies of coaching. So what and where is the real deal? So you need to bear in mind that to become an accredited coach, typically the investment is around 4 to 5 digit over time, depending on the level that you achieve, that you want to train to. The duration of the first foundational training typically is around the 12 months mark, sometimes a bit shorter, but typically it's around a year to train properly. There is a lot of coaching theory that we need to go through and really understand these 8 core competencies fully and deeply. And there's a lot of critical thinking involved in this. Then we go through practical experience with real case clients. And over that time, we're overviewed by senior supervisors from the EMCC or the ICF. We need to create case studies and assessments, and these are approved independently by the EMCC body and supervisors. So just a quick break here to focus a bit on the levels that I mentioned about coaches and from the EMCC and the ICF. They're quite similar, they're quite aligned. There is a lot of communication between these coaching bodies. Typically, the EMCC levels, they start from a foundation level where there are a theoretic knowledge and theoretic training about coaching, where we can use that. Mostly who gets and attains an accreditation as foundation level uses coaching on the job. So they have a manager role, for example, and develop their leadership style through coaching. So that's a good level to train into coaching. When you want to start creating your own coaching practice, you should train to an EMCC practitioner level. The EMCC practitioner level is an equivalent of the ACC, it's called, so the Associate Certified Coach level for ICF. That's the equivalent case. The next level is the Senior Practitioner. That's, for example, the level that I have attained so far, and that's in the ICF called Professional Certified Coach, PCC. The next and last level in coaching is the Master Practitioner. Here is the Master Certified Coach for the ICF. So this is just to give you an overview what levels there are for coaches, and that you can cross-check as well. We will see this later. But very important as well is that coaches that run a business and have a coaching practice should have committed to regular supervision. And supervision is extremely important for coaches that have a lot of clients and that coach many, many hours. Supervision ensures that coaches can have a certain quality of practice, that they review what kind of development they want to invest into. And so this is the second point here about continuous professional development. You need to find coaches that are committed to continuous development. And supervision is a basis to review that and to engage into something. It's also very useful to have business reviews with supervisors. So supervision, I stress it here once more, is in coaching and for coaches absolutely essential. Um, and then a good sign, of course, is to have active memberships with any of these three coaching buddies that I strongly recommend. So we come to the end shortly, where I really want to help you understand how to choose the right coach for you. So where do you go? The EMCC, the ICF, and the Association for Coaching have search directories. You don't need to go on social media. You don't need to find your coach on Instagram. There are dedicated search directories for coaches that have their accreditation, where you can find any coach you need in terms of language, expertise, focus areas. So my recommendation, first step is choose from these search directories 3 profiles that you find most interesting. The second step is to take these profiles and cross-check them. Of course, they often have websites, they have LinkedIn profiles, and that's the places where I recommend you to go and cross-check their journey, their path, and what they do in coaching, what they talk about, and what they feel that they have an expertise about. Then contact them. Third step, organize chemistry calls with them. Most coaches out there give you free chemistry calls to get to know each other. And here, try and understand what the coach's story is, their professional story, their personal story. Try and understand what their approach is in coaching, what style they have in coaching, and what they actually can offer you as well. Try to feel the person here. Very, very important. Fourth step, check their accreditation level and verify if they have supervision, what kind of supervision engagement they have, how regularly do they meet their supervisors. Step number 5, review some client testimonials. Reach out to past clients. Sometimes they even set you in contact with their clients. So a coach that is experienced and is confident about what they do and deliver results have absolutely nothing to fear in this space. So if they recommend you to speak with their past clients, that is a great chance to see what others experienced and to come to a more informed decision of what you want and how much that can help you. So the last step is really to reflect then on these chemistry experiences, sleep over it, and listen to your intuition as well when you make this decision. Because the key thing here is it is a human-to-human work, and there's a lot of somatic experiences that happen in coaching. Remember that coaching has an effect not just on the client. It doesn't. Amazing coaching, great coaching doesn't transform only the client. It often also transforms the coach. It's a partnership, it's a relationship. And I can tell you, the day that I started in coaching, I was a much different coach to the coach that I am today, thanks to the experiences that I had. So thank you very much for listening to this webinar and for following this presentation. I hope it clarified a little bit a lot about coaching, about coaches out there, how to separate the wheat from the chaff and really understand what you should engage with. And of course, now I'm open to respond to any questions that you may have. And I invite you also to connect with me. I offer free speed coaching out there. And if you participate in that, you get 10% off on any coaching programs that I do. And also, I'm very excited, but I start 3 more cohorts of my burnout programs this year. The first will start on the 10th of March. The second will start on the 28th of April. And the third one will start on the 12th of May. For each cohort, there are 8 spots available. So if you're interested in that, just register for that program on the website. It's non-binding. We will just meet for a first chat. I will understand more about your life and your work and where you are, and we can take it from there.